Learn to observe rather than react to the panic. Number 4. This is what I call test pilot mode. It can help to reduce misinterpretation and catastrophization if you describe into yourself how you feel as if you were an outside impartial observer. Now, I remember this from personal experience. This always helped me. So imagine you're like a test pilot reporting your feelings and experience to ground control. So when a test pilot is flying in a plane and there's some problem happening, he doesn't suddenly misinterpret and catastrophize and get emotional, and he reports everything to ground control. The plane is falling such and such miles an hour, the instruments are doing this, I'm feeling lightheaded. He's doing it very clinically, scientifically. So that's why I call it test pilot mode. You do it in a factual rather than emotional way. So for example, instead of worriedly saying, these thoughts are so scary, what's wrong with me? I'll never get better, am I going insane? Alright? Describe the feelings without further interpretation. So for instance, you are having frightening thoughts, so just repeat that. These thoughts are scary, that's a fact. I feel a tightness in my stomach. I feel very uneasy. It's coming in waves. Can you see you're kind of describing just very scientifically what's happening, but you're not adding, I feel a tightness in my stomach, that must mean I'm very ill, this will never go away, my life is ruined. It's a totally different way of describing what is happening to you. When you describe in this way, it means you're not denying what's happening, but you're not adding an awful lot of anxiety to it. So this will help you feel more in charge of the situation. And it means you're not trying to block the feelings, but you're not catastrophizing. Try it, it's very helpful. Learn to observe rather than react to the panic. Number 5. This is called thought labeling. So the principle is, instead of getting involved in the details of a train of thoughts, you give it an overall label. So let's say you're sitting somewhere and you're feeling fight or flight response sensations and symptoms, and your mind just gets carried away. What's happening? This is bad. I'm never going to get better. What's going to happen to me? What'll I do? I have to get out of here. So you realize, you remember this technique, label the thoughts. So what are you doing? You're catastrophizing. So just slap that label on it. I'm catastrophizing. And you can see that cuts down on all the thoughts. Instead of trying to deal with each thought as it comes up, you don't have to. You just give it an overall label. I'm catastrophizing. And that stops it in its tracks. Alright? As I've said there, it stops the train of thoughts long enough for you to get off so that you can think in a more rational, balanced way. Learn to observe rather than react to the panic. Number 6. Question and answer. So to further increase the sense of being a detached observer, you're stepping back from the situation, try asking yourself the same type of questions that a skilled therapist might ask. So for instance, has this happened before? What was the outcome? So let's say you're experiencing fight or flight sensations and symptoms, and you're starting to misinterpret, catastrophize, and then you remember, okay, question this. Has it happened? This has happened before. What happened all those other times it happened? And then you answer yourself, okay, yep, I've felt this so many times, and what I feared would happen never actually happened. I've had this exact same thing in my head so many times. I've always felt that I'm just about to die or whatever. It's the worst thing possible. And yet when I think about it, that never happened. And yet here I am again feeling exactly the same. So what does that show me? It is just misinterpretation. Okay. Another question, now that you know more about panic, is it true that you are in actual danger? So you can fall back on your understanding and say, well, no, I've learned now this is anxiety, no real danger, it just feels frightening. It's fight or flight sensations. Another question, are you trying to not panic at all costs or resist? Are you adding resistance to this? Are you fighting it? Are you tensing up? Are you misinterpreting? Are you catastrophizing? And then answer yourself, yes, I am doing that. I know I'm resisting, so that then follows into letting go or acceptance, letting it happen, because you've put it into your head, yes, that's what I'm doing. Once you see it, then you can change it. Another question, are you checking in on the sensations to see if they've gone yet? This is very, very common. So, even when panic dies down, sometimes you tend to, is it gone? Where is the sensation still? Oh God, when is it going to go away? So just say to yourself, right, am I checking in? Yes, I'm doing a lot of checking in. I can see that now. I should just let that be. I'll just wait, let it pass. After all, there's no actual danger. It's just fight or flight. Symptoms and sensations, no need to check in. So can you see that when you ask the question, then the answer will come, and then you reduce your fear.